So, good morning. Hello. Today I am starting very interesting topic, that is database management system. Database management system, we generally talking about the database, like where we are storing our data, and this is the backside, and just log in the data on website and just storing backside. So this is your database. So introduction of DBMS. So firstly, I am giving the introductory part of the database. That is, data is nothing but facts and statistics stored or free flowing over a network. Generally, it's raw and unprocessed. Okay. So database data comes data becomes information when it is processed, turning it into something meaningful. What is data? What is database? Database is like it is a collection of interrelated data which is used to retrieve, insert, and delete the data efficiently. Okay, like at the back end you are storing your data backside, so you are deleting, you are retrieving data, and you are inserting data efficiently. So it is also used to organize the data in the form of table, schema views, and reports, etc. So using database, you can easily retrieve, insert, and delete the information using database. Okay, and for example, like the college database organize the data about the admin staff, student, and faculty, like your student present in your college, that is roll number related, that information about address, roll number information, address related, and their marks. So these are the database where we are using to in tabular form, and this is the efficient to read and very convenient method to easily read out all the data from the database. So here is the two types we have in DBMS. First is a DBMS, second is a file system, because we have two method to store the data, in file, otherwise in DBMS. So DBMS is a collection of data. In DBMS, the user is not required to write the processor. Okay. In file system is a collection of data. In this system, the user has to write the processor for managing the database. Okay. Second is like searching data is easy in database. Okay, and searching is difficult in file. Okay, like in database is a structured format, like you are in generally store your data in tabular format, otherwise it give a good structure to the data so that you can easily find and search a target, which name you are searching, with particular student name you are searching in table, so you can just type a particular student name and that will give you a proper thing. But in file, that is unstructured, like there is a no any structure related like tabular, so we have to one by one, line to line, we have to uh, match that, and according that it will give to us output, but it is very worst case. Okay, no data redundancy in database. Redundancy means like there is a no duplicacy present here. One number is like, what is the name present of a particular student, its roll number is different in that case, otherwise roll number is like his father name is also same, so its roll number different, like every university giving the different roll number to every student, so it will give you a proper, like according the roll number we can find a particular student. Okay, in data redundancy is there in file system. Data redundancy is present in file system. Memory utilization well in DBMS. Memory utilization poor in file system. Okay, no data inconsistency in database, like every data in tabular format, in correct format, they are not repeating itself, they are not duplicacy present, data is consistent. Okay, but in file inconsistent data present. Okay, so I'm moving next. That is your DBMS give an abstract view of data that hides the detail. Abstract view is data abstraction. We generally studied in C++ programming language, that is hide the details and it's show only for outer part to the user. Okay, but in file system provide the detail of the data, representation and storage of data. DBMS provide a crash recovery mechanism. Therefore, DBMS protect the user from the system failure. Okay, like you are generally storing your data. In between that, your system failure, so that save that data for further. So you can easily store that data in future whenever your system will. Okay, okay, but in file doesn't have any crash system. If the system crashes while entering some data, then content of file will lost. Okay, okay, and next, DBMS provide a good protection mechanism. Okay, and file, it is very difficult to protect a file under the file system, under the file system. Now next is DBMS contain a wide variety of sophisticated techniques to store and retrieve the data. File system can't efficiently store and retrieve the data. DBMS take care of the concurrent access of data using some form of locking. And in the file system, concurrent access has many problems like redirecting the file and while other detecting some information or updating some information. Okay, next is your a DBMS is a software that allow creation, definition and manipulation of database, allowing user to store, process and analyze data easily. Database provides us with an interface or a tool to perform various operations like creating database, storing data in it, updating data, creating tables in the database and a lot more. Okay, second is like DBMS also provide protection and security to the database. It's also maintain data consistency in case of multiple users, like same file multiple user opening at the same time, so it's provide the consistency at that time so that every user can easily search that and do the work on that. Here are some example about use these days DBMS, that is MySQL, where we are storing data through the HTML document and CSS file. We are generally making the websites. Second is Oracle, is a popular. Okay. SQL Server, where XAMPP server generally present in that side. We have to enable all the options present inside that. IBM DB2. Okay, these are some kind of popular DBMS uh, examples. So the database application, the DBMS like application where we use database management systems are like telecom. There is a database to keep track of the information regarding calls, network users, customer detail, etc. Industry where it is manufacturing units, warehouse or distribution centers, each one needs a database to keep the record of ins and outs. Banking system for storing customer information, tracking day-to-day credit and debit transactions, generating bank statements, etc. Sales to store customer information, production information and invoice details. And airlines, to travel through airlines, we make early reservation. This reservation information along with flight schedule is stored in database. Education sector, database system are frequently used in school and colleges to store and retrieve the data regarding student details, staff details, course details, exam details and payroll data, attendance details, fees details, etc. And purpose of database system, the main purpose of database system is to manage the data. Consider a university that keeps the data of students, teachers, courses, books, etc. To manage this data, we need to store this data somewhere where we can add new data, delete unused data, update outdated data, retrieve data. To perform these operations on data, we need a database management system that allow us to store the data in such a way so that all these operations can be performed on the data efficiently. Characteristics of database: data stored into tables. Like, data is never directly stored in the database, data is stored into tables created inside the database. Reduced redundancy: it is the modern word. Hard drivers are very cheap. Drivers are very cheap but easier. But earlier, when hard drives were too expensive, unnecessary repetition of data in database was a big problem. But DBMS follows normalization, which divided the data in such a way that repetition is minimum. Data consistency: on live data, data that is being continuously updated and added, maintaining the consistency of data can become a challenge, but DBMS handle it all by itself. Okay. Supporting multiple users and concurrent access: DBMS allow multiple users to work on it at the same time and still manage to maintain the data consistency. Query language: DBMS provide user with a simple query language using which data can be easily fetched, inserted, deleted and updated in a database. Okay. Advantages of database: control database redundancy. It can control data redundancy because it store all the data in one single database file, and that record data is placed into the database. Okay. And data sharing: in database, the authorized user of an organization can store the data among multiple users. Easily maintenance: it can easily maintainable due to the centralized nature of the database system. Reduce time: it reduce development time and maintenance need. Backup: it provide the backup and recovery subsystem which create automatic backup of data from hardware and software failure and restore the data if required. Okay. Multiple user interface: it provides different type of user interface like graphical user interface, application program interface. Disadvantages of that data: cost of the hardware and software: it requires high speed of data processor and large memory size to run DBMS software. Size: it occupy a large space of disk and large memory to run them efficiently. Complexity: database system create additional complexity and requirement. Higher impact of failure: failure is highly impacted the database because in most of the organization all the data is stored in a single database, and if the database is damaged due to electric failure or database corruption, then the data may be lost forever. View of data in database: abstraction is one of the main feature of database system, hiding relevant detail from user and providing abstract view of data to user, help in easy and efficient user database interaction. The three level of database architecture: top level of architecture is view level. The view level provide the view of data to the user and hide the relevant details such as data relationship, data schema, constraint, security, etc. from the user. This is the data abstraction in database. Database system are made up of the complex data structure to ease the user interaction with database. The developer hide internal irrelevant detail from user. This process of hiding irrelevant detail from user is called data abstraction. Like view 1, view 2, view till view n. This is the logical level and then your physical level. So we have three level here. Physical level, this is the lowest level of the data abstraction. It describes how data is actually stored in database. You can get the complex data structure details at this level. Okay. Logical level is this middle level of three level of data abstraction architecture It describes what data is stored in database. View level, highest level of data abstraction. This level describes the user interaction with database system. Instance and schema in database. Definition of a schema. Design of a database is called a schema. Schema is of the three types: physical, logical, and view schema. So firstly, the design of database is the physical level is called the physical schema. How the data is stored is block of storage is described at this level. Design of database of logical level is called logical schema. Programmers and database administrator work at this level. At this level, data can be described as certain type of data record gets stored in data structure. However, the internal details such an implementation of data structure is hidden at this level. Design of database at view level is called view schema. This generally describes end user interaction with database system. Definition of instance. The data stored in database at a particular moment of time is called instance of database. So database schema define the variable declaration in table that belongs to a particular database. The value of these variable at a moment of time is called the instance of that database. Database architecture. Database management system architecture will help us understand the component of the database system and the relation among them. And the architecture of DBMS depend on the computer system on which it runs. The basic client server architecture is used to deal with large number of PCs, web servers, database servers, and other components that are connected with networks. The client server architecture consists of many PCs and a workstation which are connected via the network. So DBMS architecture depends upon how users are connected to the database to get their request done. Type of database: first, single tier, two tier, and three tier. Single tier. In this type of architecture, the database is rarely available on the client machine. Any request made by the client doesn't require a network connection to perform action on the database. Any changes done here will be directly be done on the database itself. It doesn't provide a handy tool for end user. One tier architecture is used for development of the local application where programmer can directly communicate with the database for the quick response. Two tier architecture. In two tier architecture, the database system is present at the server machine and the DBMS application is present at the client machine. These two machines are connected with each other through a reliable network. So whenever client machine make a request to access the database present at server using a query language like SQL, the server perform the request on the database and return the result back to the client. The application connection interface such as JDBC and ODBC are used for the interaction between server and client. Three-tier architecture. In three-tier architecture, another type is layer between the client machine and server machine. In this architecture, the client application doesn't communicate directly with the database system present at the server machine, rather the client application. So communication with server application and server application internally to communicate with the database system present at the server. Application server, application client, and users. Okay, so these are some kind of things here I shared with you. So now I finished this thing. I hope you understood a lot of things from here. So thank you so much for this. Good morning.